What's good YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to go ahead and remake from scratch Sisters and Brothers by Kanye West. The tempo for this one is 94 beats per minute and the track is produced by 88 Keys, André Troutman, Sheffmade, Just the One, Kanye West, and Sheffmade. We're going to go ahead and start off with that main pad synth sound that we hear throughout the entire track. For that sound, we're going to go ahead and hit Control-Command-P and bring in Logic's Retro Synth. We'll start off with a preset. We'll go to Synth Pads, and we'll bring in the classic Sawtooth Pad preset. Let's go and draw in that pattern and then get to some sound design. So the pattern for this one is actually quite long, but we'll just get to the first two chords and then work on the rest of the chords in the arrangement. We'll just get down the pattern and the sound design here. So it's going to start off with a B flat minor here. So let's go and just draw that in. But we're just going to go ahead and spread out the voicing a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and just put in another B flat in there. We'll spread this out quite a bit. So that's the first chord that happens at the top of the track, but it's too bright. So what we're going to do here is just bring it down a couple octaves. All right, now let's get to some sound design. So in Retro Synth, the first thing that we're going to do here is bring down the resonance here. We don't need it so high or not any at all. And then we're going to bring down the cutoff here because we want it nice and dark. All right, it's already sounding like it. Then we'll just turn down the vibrato here. And on the filter FM, we're going to push it over to the static. Get a little bit of movement in the sound. I'm going to pull up the sine level to make it a little bit thicker. And it's a little too much, I'll bring that back. And next, let's go ahead and focus on the shape of the sound. So in the amp envelope section over here, we're just going to pull down the attack so it's not such a soft attack. Make it a little bit quicker. I'm going to pull up the key here. Give it a little smoother sound. Then we'll open up the settings. And what we're going to do here is turn the unison over to 8 voices. Makes it a lot bigger. And we'll pull up some detuning in there as well, or add in some detuning as well. And then we'll just bring in an EQ just to shape the sound a little bit more. So for that EQ, we'll just click in the EQ section. We're going to take out some of the low end here just to clean it up. So now that we've taken out a lot of the low end, we can just boost up the volume a little bit more here. And now we're going to go ahead and layer the sound just to make it nice and full like the original track. So create another software instrument track, and we'll bring in Logic's Alchemy. And we're going to bring in the Mega Strings preset. We'll go over to our browser here. We'll go to Mega Strings. This one right over here. And we'll be playing it on the dark performance. I'm just going to go ahead and close that out, and this is what it sounds like. It's a little bit of a dirty sound. It's very similar, but it gives like a little dirt to it. And then we'll layer that up with one more sound, and we'll focus on the lower frequencies for this last one. So we're going to bring in Logic's Retro Synth once again, and we'll work with the default setting that loads up here. Let's just go and copy down that pattern. Like I said, I just want to focus in on the low frequencies just to get some of that fullness to it. So we're just going to bring off a cutoff here, a low pass, and just focus on those low frequencies there. So clean it up a little bit. Alright, so that just gives it some width and fullness. Then we're going to group all those tracks together and go Shift Command G. And we'll put the sound into a space. So for that, we'll bring in Logic's Chroma Verb. Let's go to Chroma Verb here. I'm going to start off with the preset here. We'll go to FX. Actually, no, I'm going to go to Synth Reverb's Grain Effects. And what we want for this sound is quite a wet or drenched out sound here. See how it kind of fills that up a bit. Makes it a little bit more menacing. I'll pull back the decay a little bit. Bring up the density. Then I'll bring in Logic's Fat Effects. I'll leave the compression on. Alright, so that is our main pad sound. Next, let's go and draw in the next chord, and then we'll get to some drums. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and filter this out a little bit more just because it's getting a little bit too distorted here. So turn on the filter in Logic's Fat Effects. Cleans it up a bit. Alright, then what we're going to do here is just copy that down over all of these guys here. All right, next let's go ahead and bring in those drums. So for those drums, I'm going to bring in the samples from my Bully deconstructed kit. If you are interested in the drum sounds from Ye's Bully, link will be down below. So I'm going to go over to the Sisters and Brothers folder. Now, the way I separated out the samples in this one is we got the bass separate, we got the kick and bass together, the kick separate, and the snare. So for this one, instead of layering the bass and the kick, I just kept it in there just so you have it ready to go for other productions. I'm just going to go ahead and take the layered bass and kick sample here. All right. And then I'm going to take the snare. We'll bring that into Logic's Drum Machine Designer. And we'll start off with the snare because it's a simpler pattern. It just goes on the 2s and 4s. So let's go to our snare, create a pattern region. All right, next on the snare, we're going to go ahead and apply a reverb, put it into a space. But we want this snare to sound a little bit wider, so we're going to put the reverb on the right channel. So what we're going to do here is, instead of putting the reverb right on the channel itself, we're going to bus it out to, let's bus it out to a new bus here. We'll go bus, let's choose bus 5, the next available one. We'll send it out at unity gain. So on the mixer knob right over here, we're going to hold down the option key and click to send it out at unity. And then over on bus 5, we're going to bring in Logic's Chroma Verb. And we're just going to bring in a reverb. We'll just use the default preset that loads up. We'll just draw it in here from scratch here. So what we're going to do is just 50% wet. And instead of leaving it in the center channel, like I said, I want to push this over to the right a bit. We'll bring down the volume just to blend it in together. So just the trick that was done on the original track. Now for that kick, it also repeats itself throughout the entire track, this one bar pattern. So it's going to go like this. Except our notes are overlapping there, so let's go ahead and open up our sample, and we'll change the polyphony over to mono. All right, so that's it for the drums. That just loops for the entire track. And then we get to 2 samples. Before we go ahead and bring in those samples, I'm going to go ahead and set our smart tempo settings here on the project. So if you go to File, and we're going to go to Project Settings, we'll go to Smart Tempo. We're going to change this setting right over here. Set imported files to on aligned bars and beats. So with this setting turned on, what it allows us to do is bring in the sample. Logic will detect the tempo of that sample and then stretch it to the sessions tempo of 94 beats per minute, all done automatically as soon as you import it. Makes it really easy to chop it up. So the first sample is Jonah Thompson's Get Involved. Let's go ahead and just bring it into the top of the track here. And I'm not going to do the chops here. We'll get to that in arrangement because there are quite a few chops, but I'll just show you where the chops are. So Logic automatically detected the tempo of that one and stretched it to the current tempo of 94 beats per minute. All the work of lining up that beat and everything is done for us.
Sisters and brothers and all of my friends.
So for this one, we just need the acapella. So we're going to go control click on this here. We'll go stem splitter and we'll just take the vocals from this track. So once that's complete, we'll be left with just the vocals.
Sisters and brothers and all of my friends, let's come together and pray again. The sign of Jesus is all in my room. I believe he's coming.
So all these phrases are actually used in the track, and you actually use quite a bit of it all the way up to, I believe, here. So you're gonna get this part in there as well.
I got involved with the Father. I got involved with the Son. I'm gonna stay involved with the...
So you're actually gonna be using all those phrases in the track, and we'll get to the exact placement of it in the arrangement. Next, let's go and bring in the second sample. It's Ellis D's My Loleatta Dish Apella, right over here. We're gonna bring that in. Logic will detect the tempo. Now it's going to be a little faster than it needs to be. So what we're gonna do is just turn off the automatic tempo here. So I'm gonna click this and just like that. All right, so we turn off flex mode so that's not stretched to the tempo of 94 beats per minute. And it's just pretty much samples the direct dish apella right here.
I'm gonna dish you right now.
All right, so that's the first sample right there that you need. So you just chop that up over there. And then for reference, I'm gonna show you where the other chops are located. So for the next one, we're gonna jump to bar 32.
And a lady looked at me. Really, a lady looked at me.
All right, we're gonna chop it right there. And the lady looked at me. All right, just like that. And we're gonna chop it up all the way to bar 33.5. All right, so that's our second sample.
Lady looked at me. Really, a lady looked at me and she said.
All right, and then we're gonna jump to bar 41 for the next chop.
And cry. But you know what I told her? I said, bitch, I told her. But you know.
So right from here, but you know what I told her.
But you know what I told her? I said.
Got two more chops. The next one is at bar 77. So if we go all the way down to bar 77, this right over here.
Let me tell you something too. Some never let someone.
All right, so it's gonna start from right here.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something too.
Let me tell you something too. Some.
So that's in a separate section, and then we get into this piece that gets just played out as a whole.
Some never let someone know that they're getting you down. You see, if you let them know that they're getting you down, honey, they're gonna kick you a little bit further.
All right, so that's it for the sample chops there. Next what I'm gonna do is go ahead and place the chops accordingly because they're kind of all over the place. And I'm also gonna continue out the track or the chords because there really is only one instrument in this, which is the synth pad that we just put together. I also gotta build out the arrangement for that and the chord arrangement. So let's get to that. All right, so here we are in the final arrangement. So this is our full chord track right over here. All right, took quite a bit of time just to get it all in, but that is the chord track for the entire record. And I can just play it from the top a little bit and we'll sort of get to some discussions of what happened here on the arrangement.
Sister and brother. And all of my friends.
Alright, so there's all the chops of that sample that I was talking about. So we do have them all there, just played out at different times. And then we get that lengthy chop here at the end here, that long one.
The sign of Jesus, all in my room, all in my room. I believe he's coming, I believe he's
So for one of the sample chops here,
and pray again, and pray again, and pray.
you see how there's a delay on it? So for that delay, I brought in Logic's Echo, put a half note delay, and these are the settings just to make it ring out as we needed to, like the original track. And that continues on to this one as well.
The sign of Jesus, all in my room, all in my room. I believe he's coming, I believe he's coming. He'll be here soon, he'll be here soon. I'm gonna praise him, I'm gonna praise him.
All right, and then we're just gonna jump forward to the dish apella samples.
Yes it is, yes it is, yes it is.
I'm gonna dish you right now. Let me tell you something too. And a lady looked at me, really a lady looked at me and she said, never let someone know that they're getting you down. You see, if you let them know that they're getting you down, honey, they're gonna kick you in the big butt. But you know what I told her?
Sign of Jesus.
So for that last sample right over here, the her part, it kind of rings out in another delay. All right, so for that, I once again pulled up Logic's Echo and used an 8th delay, and those are the settings right there to get it to ring out the way we needed it to. And it goes into that next sample portion of the Get Involved track.
Sign of Jesus, all in my room. I believe he's coming, he'll be here soon. I'm gonna praise him. Yes, I'm gonna praise the Lord, Lord. I got involved with the Father. I got involved.
All right, so there's the quick breakdown of the arrangement of Sisters and Brothers. Next, let's go and take a listen to how everything sounds together.
Sisters and brothers, and all of my friends, and all of my friends, let's come together. And pray again, and pray again, and pray again. The sign of Jesus, all in my room, all in my room. I believe he's coming, I believe he's coming. He'll be here soon, he'll be here soon. I'm gonna praise him, I'm gonna praise him. Yes, I'm gonna praise the Lord, 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 Lord. I got involved with the Father. I got involved with the Son. I'm gonna stay involved with the Holy Spirit. It's all in one, all in one. Yes it is, yes it is, yes it is.
I'm gonna dish you right now. Let me tell you something too. And a lady looked at me, really a lady looked at me and she said, never let someone know that they're getting you down. You see, if you let them know that they're getting you down, honey, they're gonna kick you in the big butt. But you know what I told her?
Sign of Jesus.
That's that right there is Sisters and Brothers by Ye, remade in Logic Pro. If you're Logic Pro users out there, I'm gonna go ahead and save this entire session for you, place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. The next part are the mini stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this remake. You can find that entire playback down below the like button as well. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat or have any suggestions for future videos, let's chat down below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one later. Peace.